Hi, I'm Sarah, I'm 28 years old, and I'm writing this from my home, still processing everything that has happened in the last few weeks. This story involves my mother, my dramatic sister, and the baby shower that never happened. But wait, because the ending of this story is so much better than you could imagine. First, let me give you some context. I'm the younger of two sisters. My sister Monica is 32 and has always been the family princess. I don't know if you know someone like this, but she's one of those people who believes the world revolves around her and that every important event in other people's lives should somehow be about her. Monica has never been married, not because she hasn't had opportunities, but because no man has been able to meet her ridiculously high standards. According to her, she deserves a Prince Charming who will treat her like a queen, buy her everything she wants, and never contradict her. Surprise! That man doesn't exist. I, on the other hand, got married 3 years ago to David, a wonderful man who's an engineer. We're not millionaires, but we live comfortably. David is patient, loving, and most importantly, he doesn't tolerate unnecessary drama. Throughout our entire relationship and marriage, I've noticed how my family, especially my mother, has always tried to minimize our achievements so as not to make Monica feel bad. The classic perfect sister syndrome who can't stand others being happy. Sound familiar? When I got pregnant 7 months ago, I was ecstatic. David and I had been trying for a year, and our miracle finally arrived. The first thing I did was call my mother to share the news. "Mum, I'm pregnant," I screamed into the phone, almost crying with happiness. Her response was lukewarm. "Oh, that's nice, honey, but do you think it's a good time to tell Monica? You know how she gets when she's not the center of attention." At that moment, I should have seen the red flags. But naive me thought my mother was just being considerate. Mistake number 1. It turns out Monica didn't take the news well. When she found out, instead of congratulating me, she started with her typical drama. "Why does Sarah always get everything I want? It's not fair that she's having a baby before me. Now everyone's going to be obsessed with the baby and ignore me." My mother, instead of putting Monica in her place, started asking me to be understanding of my sister's feelings. She asked me not to post much about the pregnancy on social media, not to talk about the baby so much when we were together as a family, and to give time for Monica to process the news. Seriously? I have to hide my pregnancy so as not to hurt a 32-year-old woman's feelings? The level of ridiculousness here is astronomical. As my pregnancy progressed, things got worse. At every family gathering, Monica found a way to make everything about her. If someone asked how I was, feeling with the pregnancy, she would immediately interrupt with some personal drama. If we talked about baby names, she would say she had thought of those names first for when I have kids. The last straw came when I was 6 months pregnant. My best friend Anna and I were planning the baby shower. I was so excited we had chosen a beautiful venue, a super cute theme, and had invited all the family and close friends. The date was set for October 15th, and we had already sent out the invitations. A week before the baby shower, I got a call from Anna that left me frozen. "Sarah, I have to tell you something really weird. I just talked to your cousin Laura, and she told me that your mum called her yesterday to tell her the baby shower was cancelled." "What?" I couldn't believe what I was hearing. "That's impossible. My mom wouldn't cancel my baby shower." That's what I thought too, but Laura told me your mom explained they had a family emergency and the event was postponed indefinitely. I immediately called my mother. "Mom, what's this about you cancelling my baby shower?" There was a long pause. Too long. "Oh, honey, it's just that Monica is going through a really difficult time. She found out her ex is getting married and she's devastated. It didn't seem appropriate to have a celebration when she's suffering so much." I was speechless. Literally. I couldn't process that my own mother had cancelled her grandchild's baby shower for my dramatic sister's feelings. Wait, are we talking about the same Monica who broke up with that ex 2 years ago? The one who said it was the best thing that ever happened to her to get rid of him? The level of manipulation here could win an Oscar. "Mom," I said, trying to stay calm, "are you telling me you cancelled my baby shower without consulting me because Monica is sad about the ex she dumped herself?" "Don't put it like that, Sarah. I just thought we could postpone it a few weeks until things calm down. And it didn't occur to you to ask me what I thought before calling all my guests and cancelling my event. I knew you were going to make a big deal out of it, and with Monica already so sensitive." That's when I realized my mother had made her decision. For her, Monica's feelings would always be more important than mine, even at one of the most special moments of my life. I hung up the phone and started crying. David came home and found me in tears on the couch. When I told him what had happened, he was furious. My husband is generally very calm, but that night I saw a side of him that rarely appears. "Your mother cancelled your baby shower without asking you." His voice had a tone I had never heard. "Sarah, this is enough. Your family has been walking all over you for years to please your sister, and I've stayed quiet because you asked me to keep the peace. But this is too much." That night, David and I had a very serious conversation. He made me see patterns I had been ignoring for years, how my mother always minimized my achievements so as not to make Monica feel bad, how at my own wedding, Monica had caused drama because the color of her bridesmaid dress didn't flatter her, and my mother had insisted we change the entire color palette 2 weeks before the ceremony. David was right. I had been my family's emotional doormat for years, and honestly, it was time to get up and shake myself off. The next day, I decided to do something I had never done: investigate how far my mother had gone with her lies. I started calling family and friends who were invited to the baby shower. What I discovered devastated and infuriated me at the same time. My mother hadn't just cancelled the baby shower. She had invented a completely different story for each person. She told my Aunt Hope that I had decided to cancel because David and I were having marital problems. She told my cousins that we had pregnancy complications and the doctors had ordered me on complete bed rest. She told my work friends that we had decided to do something more intimate, just for close family. But the cherry on top was when I talked to my cousin Sophie, who told me, "Your mum explained that you had decided to postpone the baby shower because Monica was organizing a surprise party for her birthday on the same day, and you didn't want the events to compete." Monica's birthday? It was in December. We were in October. At that moment, I knew my mother had been collaborating with Monica to sabotage my baby shower, and that both had been blatantly lying to my face. Because, of course, what better way to celebrate your daughter having her first baby than to invent a dozen different lies to ruin her celebration? Mother of the Year, no doubt. That night, I decided it was time to stop this madness once and for all. But before confronting my mother and Monica, I needed to make sure I had all the correct information. It turns out I have a cousin, Alexandra, who works at the same event hall where we had reserved for the baby shower. I asked her to check if my mother had called to officially cancel the reservation. "Sarah," Alexandra told me after checking, "there's no cancellation registered under your name here. The reservation is still active for October 15th. That's when I realized my mother had cancelled with the guests, but hadn't cancelled the venue. That meant I still had the possibility of having my baby shower, if I wanted to. And boy, did I want to. That night, David and I sat down and came up with a plan. If my mother and sister wanted to play dirty, we could play better. Because sometimes when people treat you like a doormat for too long, it's time to remind them that you also have teeth. First, I contacted Anna and explained everything I had discovered. She was furious but also excited about our plan. We decided to go ahead with the original baby shower, but with a twist. We were going to invite only the people who really supported me and wanted to celebrate with me. We made a new guest list. It included my closest friends, some family members I knew would genuinely support me, like my cousin Alexandra and my Aunt Ellen, who had never gotten along well with my mother, David's friends, and some co-workers. Notably absent from the list, my mother, Monica, and all the family members who had believed my mother's lies, without bothering to check with me. We sent out new invitations explaining the situation very diplomatically. Due to some misunderstandings with previous invitations, we want to assure you that Sarah's baby shower is still scheduled for October 15th. If you received contrary information, please ignore it. We hope to see you there to celebrate our baby. Subtle as a brick, but effective. Sometimes you have to say things clearly, so there's no confusion. The day of the baby shower arrived, and it was absolutely perfect. The venue was beautiful, the food delicious, and I was surrounded by people who genuinely loved me and were excited about my baby. Anna had done an incredible job coordinating everything, and David was beaming with pride. But the real satisfaction came when my phone started ringing during the party. First, it was my cousin Sophie. "Sarah, how is it that I'm seeing photos of your baby shower on Instagram? Your mum told me it was cancelled. Then my Aunt Hope. Honey, I thought you had marital problems and that's why you cancelled the baby shower. Why are there photos of David with you looking super happy? And so the calls continued. One after another, family and acquaintances realized my mother had lied to them. The most satisfying call came around 4 p.m. It was my mother, and she was furious. Sarah, what does this mean? I'm getting photos of a baby shower. We said it was cancelled. No, Mom, I replied super calmly. You said it was cancelled. I never agreed with that decision. But Monica is devastated. Couldn't you wait a few weeks? Mum, my baby is going to be born in 2 months. I'm not going to postpone my celebration indefinitely because Monica is hurt that her ex from 2 years ago is getting married. There was a long pause. Sarah, you come here right now. We need to talk. I can't, Mom. I'm at my baby shower, the one you tried to sabotage. And I hung up. The power of hanging up the phone at the shoe. Perfect moment. It's an art more people should master. Update 1. Well, as you can imagine, my family exploded after the baby shower. My mother spent the next few days calling and texting me, alternating between pleas, emotional manipulation, and threats. The messages were quite a show. Sarah, it really hurts me that you did this. I'm your mother and I deserve respect. Your sister is so hurt she doesn't want to come out of her room. Do you see what you caused? If you don't come, apologize. Don't expect me to be present when my grandson is born. That last threat hurt, I won't lie. But David reminded me of something important. Sarah, do you really want someone who emotionally manipulates you to be around our child? He was right. Things got more interesting when I started getting calls from other family members. It turns out my little stunt had consequences I hadn't anticipated. My Aunt Ellen called to tell me she had had a very serious conversation with my mother. Sarah, your mom told me her version of the story, but I told her very clearly that what she did was wrong. Cancelling your daughter's baby shower without consulting her is unforgivable. My cousin Alexandra was even more direct. Sarah, I always suspected your mum treated you differently to please Monica, but this confirmed everything. And I'm not the only one who thinks so. It turns out there were more family members who had noticed the pattern of favoritism toward Monica, but had never said anything to keep family peace. My baby shower had given them the perfect excuse to finally express their opinions. It's incredible how people always keep the peace when others are being mistreated, but suddenly find their voice when the drama explodes. Where were they before? Monica also started her manipulation campaign. She sent me a long, dramatic message about how I had destroyed family harmony and how she just needed support in a difficult time. Replied with something very simple. Monica, your ex got married a week ago and you posted photos at a spa with your friends celebrating that you got rid of an idiot. Don't come to me saying you're devastated. Because yes, it turns out that while my mother was cancelling my baby shower because Monica was devastated, my dear sister was at a luxury spa celebrating with her friends. I found out because one of her friends posted the photos on Instagram tagging her. She didn't respond to my message. Update 2. My baby was born 2 weeks ago, and let me tell you it's been the most beautiful experience of my life. David has been an incredible father from day one, and I feel complete in a way I never thought possible. But since this is a story about family drama, obviously my family had to ruin this moment too. My mother found out I had given birth through my Aunt Ellen, who was on my list of people to contact. She immediately started calling me, sending messages about how she had the right to meet her grandson and how I was being cruel and immature by keeping her away. Monica also showed up with her drama. She sent me a message saying she had been reflecting and realized she had been a little bit jealous, a little bit, but that now she was ready to be the best aunt in the world. David and I laughed so hard at that message that the baby woke up. We decided to set very clear boundaries. We told my mother she could meet her grandson, but under our conditions. No drama, no Monica, until there was a genuine apology, and any manipulative behavior would result in the visitor being escorted to the door. My mother came to meet the baby last Saturday. She arrived with tears in her eyes, loaded with gifts, and with a prepared speech about how she just wanted the best for both sisters. But here's the good part. David had installed security cameras in the house after the baby was born. For security, he said, but I knew it was also to have evidence in case of family drama. My mother was in the house for exactly 47 minutes. The first 20 minutes were relatively normal. She held the baby, took photos, made typical grandmother comments. But at minute 21, it started. "Sarah, honey, this baby looks a lot like Monica when she was little. Mom, he looks like David. Oh, but the eyes are just like your sister's. Monica is going to be so excited when she sees the photos. Are you going to show Monica?" "Photos? Well, he's her nephew. She has a right to see him. Mom, Monica hasn't apologized for anything that happened." And there started the emotional speech, that Monica was very sorry, but too proud to apologize, that I had to be the more mature one and build the first bridge, and that family is the most important thing. David intervened. "With all due respect, Mrs. Patricia, Sarah doesn't have to apologize for anything. Monica sabotaged her sister's baby shower, and you helped her. If Monica wants a relationship with her nephew, she can start by asking for forgiveness." My mother was so offended that she got up, threw the baby at me, literally, and left screaming that David had brainwashed me and that I was going to regret choosing a stranger over my own family. Choosing a stranger. That stranger is my husband and the father of my child. But of course Monica, who has done nothing but cause problems, is family and deserves more respect. Update 3. It's been 3 months since my baby was born, and things have taken an interesting turn. First, the good news. My life without the constant drama from my mother and Monica has been incredibly peaceful. David and I have been able to enjoy our first baby without external stress, and honestly, I didn't know how much energy I was spending dealing with their manipulations until I stopped doing it. My baby is healthy, beautiful, and David is an amazing dad. We've developed our own family routine, and it's perfect. But here's where it gets interesting. It turns out my little rebellion inspired other family members to do the same. My cousin Alexandra told me that after seeing how I had set boundaries, she decided to do something similar with her own toxic family situation. My Aunt Ellen finally told my mother what she thought about her favoritism toward Monica, and apparently it was quite an intense conversation. But the cherry on top came 2 weeks ago. Monica sent me a message, but it wasn't the typical dramatic message I was used to from her. It was different. "Sarah, I know you probably won't even read this, but I need to tell you, I've been in therapy for the past few weeks, and I've realized many things about myself that I don't like. I know I ruined your baby shower. I know I've been a terrible sister. I know I've been selfish and manipulative, and that Mom has allowed me to be that way for years. I don't expect you to forgive me immediately, but I want you to know that I'm really sorry and that I'm working on changing. If someday you wanted to give me a chance to meet my nephew and to be a better sister, I would love that. But I understand if you don't want to. I love you, Sarah." I read the message like 5 times. David also read it and told me, "It sounds genuine, but actions speak louder than words." I decided to respond with something simple. "Monica, I appreciate that you've taken the initiative to go to therapy and to write this. Let's see how things go." I didn't say yes immediately, but I didn't completely close the door either. My mother, on the other hand, is still in complete victim mode. According to what other family members tell me, she's telling everyone that I'm an ungrateful daughter who abandoned her for a man, and that David manipulated me to distance me from my family. The ironic thing is that several family members have told her that she was the one who pushed me away with her behavior, but apparently she can't see it. It's fascinating how people who cause all the problems always become the victim when they face the consequences of their actions. Last week, I had an interesting conversation with my Aunt Ellen. She told me, "Sarah, honey, your mom has always had a blind spot with Monica. She thinks that by protecting Monica from consequences, she's being a good mother, but all she's done is create a monster. And now she's lost one daughter, trying to coddle the other." That really hit home for me. My mother was so focused on protecting Monica's feelings that she forgot I had feelings too, and now she's dealing with the consequences. The funny thing is that through all this drama, I've realized how much happier I am without constantly having to manage other people's emotions. My marriage is stronger, my relationship with my baby is pure and uncomplicated, and I'm surrounded by people who actually care about my well-being. David and I have started talking about maybe having another baby in a couple of years. And you know what? This time I already know exactly who will and won't be invited to that baby shower. Sometimes the best gift you can give yourself is the freedom to stop caring about people who don't care about you. As for Monica, I'm cautiously optimistic about her therapy journey. People can change, but they have to want to change. Time will tell if she's serious about becoming a better person. Or if this is just another manipulation tactic. My mother, I think she's going to have to lose a lot more before she realizes that her favoritism destroyed her relationship with one daughter and enabled the worst traits in the other. But that's her journey to figure out. I'm too busy being happy with my beautiful family to waste any more energy on people who chose drama over love. Update 4. I'm writing this final update because I think it's important to show how these situations can evolve over time. And because some of you have been asking for closure. My baby is now 6 months old and thriving. He's the happiest, most content little guy, and I truly believe it's because he's been surrounded by genuine love and positivity from day one, without the toxic energy that used to plague our family gatherings. Monica has been consistently going to therapy, and I can see real changes in her behavior. She's been sending me updates about her progress without asking for anything in return, which is completely different from her usual approach. She got a job, her first full-time job in years, moved into her own apartment, and has been working on building a life that doesn't revolve around drama and attention-seeking. 3 months ago, I decided to give her a chance. We met for coffee, just the two of us, and she apologized sincerely for everything. Not the fake, manipulative apologies she used to give, but a real acknowledgement of how her behavior had hurt me and our family. She didn't ask to meet the baby right away or push for immediate forgiveness. She just said she wanted to earn back my trust over time. We've been slowly rebuilding our relationship. She's met her nephew twice now, and both visits were drama-free. She brought thoughtful gifts, helped with baby care, and actually seemed genuinely interested in being a good aunt rather than making everything about herself. My mother, unfortunately, is still stuck in her old patterns. She refuses to acknowledge that her favoritism and enabling behavior caused this whole situation. She's told family members that she's the real victim here because she lost both daughters. Apparently she's lost Monica too because Monica has been setting boundaries with her as part of her therapy. Last month, my mother showed up at our house unannounced, demanding to see her grandson and insisting that enough time had passed and we should just forget about everything. David answered the door and calmly told her that she wasn't welcome until she was ready to take responsibility for her actions and apologize genuinely. She's been spreading rumors in the family that David has turned me against my own mother, but most of our relatives see right through it now. My Aunt Ellen told her straight up, "Patricia, your daughter didn't choose her husband over you. You chose Monica's tantrums over Sarah's happiness, and now you're dealing with the consequences." The most satisfying part of all this, I'm genuinely happy. My life is peaceful, my marriage is strong, my baby is thriving, and I'm surrounded by people who love and support me unconditionally. I don't miss the constant drama, the walking on eggshells, or the emotional manipulation. David and I are planning to try for baby number 2 next year, and this time I know exactly how the baby shower is going to go, surrounded by people who are genuinely excited for us, with no drama, no manipulation, and no last-minute cancellations. Monica will probably be invited if she continues on her current path. My mother will not be, unless she has a major change of heart and takes responsibility for her actions. The lesson I've learned from all this is that family isn't just about blood relations. Family is about the people who show up for you, who celebrate your victories, who support you during difficult times, and who love you unconditionally. Sometimes those people share your DNA and sometimes they don't. I spent years trying to manage other people's emotions and keep peace at the expense of my own happiness. Now I know that my job isn't to manage anyone else's feelings. It's to protect my own family and surround us with love and positivity. And you know what? Life is so much better this way. Gracias por acompañarme en esta increíble historia. ¿Qué opinan de todo lo que pasó? ¿Creen que Sara hizo lo correcto al poner esos límites con su familia? ¿O piensan que fue muy dura? No olviden darle like si les gustó la historia, suscribirse al canal para más contenido como este y compartir con alguien que necesite escuchar que está bien poner límites familiares. Y miren, justo aquí en pantalla tienen otro video con una historia igual de intensa sobre drama familiar. Hagan clic para seguir en el canal y descubrir qué más tenemos para ustedes. Nos vemos en el próximo video.